It's time for discussions. Welcome to episode 8 of the Discussions podcast. Today we've got a very personal one. This is the breakup episode. Now, I haven't been in a breakup in a really long time, but I've helped my friends through breakups recently. And I've been able to give them some useful advice that I want to share to you that you can use in similar circumstances or in other areas where you can apply them. The best breakup advice that I ever got was when I was just through a breakup. I felt sad, and my friend called me and he said, do you feel sad right now? I said, yes. He said, good, because that's normal. That means you're human. That means, the only people that don't feel sad after stuff like that is a psychopath. So it's really normal what you're feeling right now. And that made me happy. It made me think, I guess it's okay for me to be feeling this sad. Like in one sense, that's a good thing. I do have functioning, working emotions. And evolutionarily, my understanding of why breakups hurt so bad is that, when we're in our caveman groups of 30 people or so, you want to be around people. If you got exiled from the group, there's almost no chance that you'll survive. So being cut off from the group would give you the deepest pain because your chance of survival just drops so much. And similarly, when you get broken up with, your body is telling you that, your chance of survival is dropping because you're no longer part of that team. And that is probably very old and very biological, but it doesn't apply so much anymore. If we get broken up with these days, our chance of survival isn't going to drop profusely like it was in caveman times. So understanding kind of that root cause for it allowed me to be at ease with how I was feeling. So that's fine. Now you know why you're sad. What can we do about it? So my friend who went through the breakup recently, I had to explain to him, when we're in the we just got broken up with position, obviously we're going to feel like it's our fault. We're not good enough, etc., etc. But you need to understand it's a relationship between two people. So it's the chemistry between the two people. And what I told my best friend was, it's nothing to do with you. It's to do with the other person. They're figuring themselves out. They're working on themselves. And you just can't take the blame. You have to understand it's the other person figuring stuff out for themselves as well. So don't let it hurt your confidence. Don't let it hurt your identity. Because that's definitely the hardest part about the breakup. When you're in it, it feels like, you're just not good enough. But from an outsider's perspective, it's so clear that my best friend is definitely good enough. The girl that broke up with him is definitely good enough. They're both incredible. It's just the chemistry between them had ruptured. So if you're ever feeling like it's you're not good enough, it's simply just not the case. And in a few years' time, you look back at it and laugh and think, I don't know why I felt that way. I definitely don't feel that way now. And there's also some exercises that you can do when you're feeling really bad after a breakup. My friend was going through some troubles, and I got on the phone with him and I said, dude, do these exercises because it'll make you feel good. The number one fix for breakup sadness is to hang around your best mates. Hang around a group of friends, and that's when you'll be the most distracted. You might be like 20% sad still, but you'll be 80% distracted. You'll be around good company. You're still getting your connection to other people. It's still relationships, and it'll definitely help take your mind off things. So I always tell people to hang around friends as much as possible after a breakup. When you're not around friends, here's some exercises that I do to lift my mood, and they'll certainly work after a breakup as well. I like to go for walks. When you go for a walk for half an hour or an hour, it's like a form of meditation because you're still thinking, so you're still seeing your environment and making sure you don't trip, etc. So you're thinking just a little bit, but it puts your brain in a slight meditation because you've got so much brain power to use while you're walking that good thinking, clear thinking will come to you. Especially getting out of the house and changing up your environment is also good. And being around nature definitely sparks a bit of happiness and gets some endorphins going. And I read somewhere that if you're by a body of water for 15 minutes or 20 minutes, it lifts your mood. So I coincidentally walk along a river every day, and I definitely feel better. And that's probably why my deep brain is told that if you're near water, you feel good about it. Maybe there's a good supply of fish or something. I don't know. But get out there, do some walks, and you may feel better. Similarly, exercise and gym might do the same thing. I don't really use that. Sometimes you might use that post-breakup to take control back of, I guess, your attractiveness, your feeling of control, your feeling of power, strength, etc. Remind yourself that you are those things. Gym can be good for that, but I don't necessarily use gym for mood enhancement post breakup. What I'll do is things like journaling and reading. My friend spoke to me for an hour, and he said that was so helpful. Speaking to you I just feel better now. And I said, my understanding of discussions is that when we converse with someone, we're getting ideas out that we didn't know we had stuck in there. So by speaking to you for an hour, I'm actually speaking to myself for an hour. I'm figuring out things for an hour by putting them into words so that when I leave the conversation, everything's way clearer. Call a friend and do that. Now, if you run out of friends to call, I got an even better technique. You take out a journal or a blank piece of paper, and even when you don't feel like it, you make yourself write a full page. By writing a full page and getting your thoughts out onto paper, just whatever comes to your mind, write the page. You can throw it out, get rid of it afterwards so no one sees it. You write your journal and you're doing the same thing. You're forcing your thoughts to become clear, linear, word for word, letter for letter. It's the same thing we did in the conversation. When I was speaking to my friend, I couldn't just ramble on. I had to make sense of things before communicating it. And when you're writing it, it's the same thing. It's making your brain come to terms with those thoughts and helps you figure them out. So try some journaling. I don't know if meditation is what you'll want to do when you're feeling quite sad after a breakup, because that kind of puts you into your thoughts a little bit. But what you can do is a form of meditation where you just don't let yourself think about anything. You just focus on your breathing, etc. And that can help your thinking be a bit more clear in the background. So those are my breakup advice tips, and feel free to apply those to other areas of your life where you may have gone through some difficulties. So thanks for joining us for this episode, and subscribe below so we can bring you more content.